Hey, so I just lost my job.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the video because it helps with my algorithm. So in today's video, we'll be talking about layoffs are getting worse and no one is safe. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back share my truths.
Hey, so I just lost my job. And for context, it was really out of the blue. And I generally had never loved anything as much as I have loved this job. Um, I'm not going to go into reasons why. And I still really love the company and the people in it. But now, I can't pay for rent. And I don't know if I'll be able to find another job because before this I was just door dashing full time 24/7. I'm kind of stuck and lost. So if anybody has any advice or any hope, I've tried social media in the past and it hasn't ever really taken. So if you could watch this for the full 60 seconds so that I can not just dip into all my savings for school, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, and yeah.
Life update. We ended up getting laid off. So I have about a month left of work, and basically I've just been trying to process that because for the past couple of months, couple weeks, we've kind of been under the assumption that our contract would end, but that a new contract would start, and that's just not the case for us. So yeah, I'm definitely disappointed and sad to leave my current agency, but I do see this as kind of a sign of it's time to take a step in another direction. It's time to move on to something new. Kind of just know that things work out the way that they're supposed to. And, the experience working at my agency just has been really needed. I think it came at a time when I really kind of needed exactly what it was. The past year and a half has been incredibly transformative. So, I just appreciate the experience a lot. And so now it's on to kind of figuring out what the next steps are. I'm not really sure where I'll end up. I do know that I will find something, so I'm not super concerned. But I know that wherever I find won't be as great as where I'm currently at, so that's definitely depressing. So, but yeah, that's been my life update. I'm kind of glad to know that, to know for sure what's happening, because I think all of the up in the air, back and forth, kind of just not knowing, was just weighing on me a lot. And so now I have to figure out something else.
This job market is so bad that I just got fired from a company I've never worked for a day in my life. I'm dead serious. Minding my business, received a termination email from a company I've never worked for. Even for me, this is a new low. Even for me. I'll put the email somewhere. But the name of the company and the HR person looks familiar. And after searching, I realized that I spoke to this person late March, early April about a job, but we didn't move forward. I responded like, hey, you just sent me an email firing me. I have never worked for you, but we did talk earlier this year. So do you have my data in there somewhere in your system? And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We sent the email to the wrong Sandrine. And I'm like, what are the odds that, first of all, my name is pretty rare in this country. But I was like, what are the odds that there's a different person with my name that got the job that I didn't get? And also, that is getting fired. And is God trying to tell me, or was God trying to show me that if I got that job, I would have been fired by now? Or this is crazy. This is crazy. Even for me, this is crazy.
So I just got laid off. I know I probably should be more sad, I guess, but honestly, I was already pretty unhappy, and I felt like I was kind of stuck in this pattern of just, going to work, doing nothing, really just living for the weekends. So, like, I know that, you need a job to function in society. But the truth is, I never liked working corporate. I didn't like the idea of it. So I'm just gonna look at it in a positive way, and I'm just gonna, try to embrace everything that comes along with this new chapter. But yeah, the job market is not looking good right now, so I mean, that's what concerns me. But other than that, I'm gonna try to take this in the most positive way ever. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much free right now. It's kind of weird, but I love it.
What's up, guys? Nick here from RC Crawler Craze. So, Friday, the 10th of October, I was laid off from my day job. I was the shop foreman of a Nissan dealership in California. I was told that they had to make a business decision and they have no need for a shop foreman position anymore. So, yesterday was my first day being unemployed in the last 12 years. 12 years. I've worked for this dealership for 11 years. And we had an ownership change about a year ago. Now, I know I used to post at least 3 times a day. Now I barely post one. There's been a lot going on in my life, and this was the big one. So I will do my best to give you guys the content you want. My garage is a mess. It's a disaster because I need to bring my 12-foot long Snap-on toolbox home, and I need to make room for it. So my garage is a disaster. It's going to be rough, but with the love and support from you guys, that's all I'll need.
So this is the story of my life. I got laid off a very long time ago, and since then I've been lowering my standard, trying to find a job. End up applying to all these entry-level jobs, don't even get that. End up going back to school, and now I'm truly entry-level because I'm switching career paths. I applied to an accounting internship because I'm studying accounting, and I just got rejected to this internship that requires 0 years of experience. And in the email, this is a new one, it says, after careful consideration and representative of the very competitive marketplace, we regret to inform you that you're unable to move forward in this position. And I'm just like, representative of a very competitive marketplace for a fucking internship? I don't have enough experience for an internship? Is that what you're telling me? There's better candidates than me that have 10 years of fucking experience that I still don't have enough experience for this internship?
So I was laid off from work today, and I work on the corporate side of the entertainment industry, and the company has been hinting at layoffs for a while now, so I wasn't too surprised. Plus, the state of the entertainment industry right now is just not looking really good. But, this is the first time I've ever been laid off. Anything like this has happened. So I'm still trying to process everything. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of at peace with it. Like, I know a lot of this stuff is out of my control, and it does suck that it had to be my role that was eliminated. But at the same time, it is kind of freeing. Because those of you that work in a corporate setting, you know how soul-crushing the work can be. How you can sometimes question whether you're sort of good enough for it. You start to question your self-worth and your value. But I like to practice what I preach. And even through all of this, I want to just continue spreading positivity because I know this story is happening all over the country right now. So if this is also happening to you, stay strong. And I know we'll get on the other side of this stronger together.
I was laid off this week. I didn't see it coming. I'm mad at myself that I didn't see it coming. What sucks is I literally have been back at work, or was back at work for 2 weeks. 2 weeks after taking a leave of absence. Earlier this summer, I had a mental breakdown and I needed to step away from work. And I was so certain too that I was going to be laid off. But, you know, when I got back to work, it seemed like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm not going to get laid off. Maybe they're going to keep me around. And, you know, I felt very lucky about that. I had my one-on-one with my boss, which happens same time every week. So that was nothing new. And now that everybody's back into the office, meeting rooms book up a lot. He was heading to another meeting and he was like, hey, just so you know, I sent you an invite. I changed the room for our one-on-one. It's at this specific place. I was like, okay, no big deal. And then the one-on-one comes and I go to this location for the meeting and I head up to the door and I see the HRBP. I knew right then and there. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting laid off. And, you know, my boss comes out and he was like, okay, Brandon, you know, we're ready for you. And I was like, okay, awesome. And he's like, as you can see, HRBP's here. And I was like, yep, I sure see it. He reads from his notes and they inform me that my position is no longer needed. I was like, okay. I was like trying to take it all in, trying to understand like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? It is what it is. It sucks. But, you know, what are you going to do? There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not the only person on the face of this earth who's ever been laid off. I'm not the only person currently going through a layoff. But so I'm just trying to think of like all the positive things. What's positive about this, you know? And some of those are like, can focus now on content and I can focus on doing the things that I like to do. But what does that mean? That means I need you to like and follow and subscribe and do all of those things and share and really help me out. Besties, I swear, I only have made from the creator program, I literally have made like $1.50. It'd be great if I could do this full time, but I can only do this full time if I have your support. That is my surreal experience for the week. It is what it is. I'm alive. So.
Exactly a week ago today, I was laid off from a job. Not ideal. I was a mess all last week. I'm here in Texas. My role is being relocated to California. No family, no friends out there, so I will not be relocating and uprooting my family. I don't know what's next for me. I will keep you updated. Let's go along this journey together. I'll be spending a lot of time with my family, sharing more content. Then around a month mark, I will start actively looking for jobs. But until then, I guess let's do this journey together of fun employment.
Let me tell you something. This girl right here, God does not play about me, okay? Ashley Bolt, that's my name. God does not play about me, okay? Let me tell you a story. 2 weeks ago, I was sick. I'm a respiratory therapist and I work at the hospital. And I also work as needed at a long-term care facility. I'm gonna try not to cry. But I was feeling sick a few weeks ago and I had to call in 2 days in a row at my main job. And I know I wasn't going to feel better to go in at my as needed job. So I texted the manager and I was like, hey, I'm not going to make it into work because I'm not feeling well. The manager responded. She didn't even say, oh, I'm sorry you're feeling sick. I hope you feel better. She responded saying that this is about to be your third call-in for the year, and contingents or PRN workers, they only get one call-in a year. And if you don't show up to work, you are going to be terminated. Imagine getting fired when you're sick. Imagine you getting fired when you're sick. That put me through severe emotional distress. I talked to my husband and it was like, Ash, leave it alone. That had to be the worst feeling I've ever felt. Okay? I've never been fired from any job before. Never. So my spirit, the spirit of God, I have a very discerning spirit. And when he speaks to me, I listen. So the spirit of God, it just tell me, hey, email HR and explain yourself and tell them what happened. Because this lady did not give me a verbal warning. She just terminated me. And that really put me through emotional distress. So I explained everything and I told HR. So I thought HR had forgotten about me because a week had passed and I did not hear from them. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone. But you know what I did? I prayed to God. I said, God, you see the injustices that I'm facing. I'm wrongfully terminated while I'm sick. This is not right. And it really hurt my feeling. Please have your way, God. Please take over. Please fight for me. I kid you not. HR just called me and they told me, look, you are not terminated. You can go back to your job. You are not terminated. But upon returning, you will get a written warning. I told HR, I thank you for calling me back. I appreciate you reaching out to me, but I am not going back. Because for the manager to treat me like that, I'm not going to go back and work for somebody like that. And she also told me that the manager told her that, yeah, I'm wrong for, terminated her. That was wrong. So she told me that if you're not going to show up back to the job, please send in your resignation letter. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. So now I can write up my resignation letter and send it in. Look at God. I'm telling you, God do not play about his people. And that's why I serve him, because he's a good God. And he fight for me, and he will fight for you, especially when he know that you're being treated unfairly. This made my day. God is amazing. And anyone who don't love God or trust God or serve God, you are missing out. Don't give up on God, because he will not give up on you. Okay? Have a blessed day.
So it finally happened. I got fired from my job today. And I thought it was going to happen yesterday. My boss was not in the office like expected. So I was honestly like kind of sketched out today because I wasn't sure like if it was going to happen today. Because she hadn't like rescheduled our meeting. So I was like, oh my God, is it going to happen today? And sure enough, it did. And as it was happening, I was just like sending out like my last minute messages to folks and just like letting them know like, hey, this is where you can reach me, or like just telling people how happy I was to be able to work with them. And it was just like such a surreal moment. And one thing that I'm like extremely proud of that I did today was I didn't like hold back of things that I wanted to say. I didn't like clam up, and I don't know, I just kind of felt like this like freedom to just be able to just speak my mind. And I told my boss, and of course her boss was there in the meeting with us, but I was just like, I'm honestly so grateful to have worked with you guys, and it was just like such a good experience overall, but just like working with the people and like my coworkers and my team. And I was like, I really feel like the moment that I decided to let go of this job, like in my head and in my heart, I was like, that's when things started really like lining up for me. And I told them about getting to meet the head of procurement at the place that I worked at, because I showed up to an event last week and secured like a future vendor spot. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's like moments like that. And so I just gave them like one example of like, you know, hey, like I'm gonna be okay, things are okay, and like I am sad, but I knew what was coming. And also just, it was just really touched my heart. My this is my third manager that I was on. My first manager went to another department to work on a special project, and then I had another manager who was helping me trying to improve my numbers, and then that's when I had my mental breakdown. So and then I went on mental health leave for the first time ever in my life. And then when I came back from leave, I had a new manager, and she's really tried her hardest to help me and like trying to figure out like what's the plan for us, like what is the plan to help get you back on track. And it was just like such a tough journey over the last couple of months, and it was just like sad to see her like cry, because she really tried. And I don't know, I was just like really tough because it's like at some point, like, you can't help me past the bigger plan. And the bigger plan for me is literally launching my business. Not launching, but just like going all in my business. And so many opportunities have presented themselves because of that. And because I decided to let it go and to like stay letting it go instead of trying to pick it back up again. I was like, no, I'm gonna just keep releasing this. And so many other more aligned opportunities are coming to me because I released it and kept it released. Like, you can't pick it back up. Like, you can't pick the old thing back up again and think that you're going to be able to, like, or even be ready to move on to the new thing that's ready and waiting for you. And you really have to decide to be extremely uncomfortable with that feeling, because it feels weird. And it's like the feeling of evolution. It's the feeling of transcending, or like it's the feeling of like moving energy from one space to another. And I don't know, I've just been able to like practice that in different ways in my life more recently. And so I'm able to apply that same principle to the situation that I'm living right now. So I was like, okay, yeah. Thank you guys so much for everything. And I was just sending my last little messages, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna, send you your stuff, turn your stuff in, whatever. But it was like all good vibes. It was all good vibes, no bad vibes. It was very emotional. But after I logged off, I just like felt this like massive sense of freedom, like relief, like, oh my God, finally, it's done. It's finally done. I don't have to show up to this job on Monday morning. Like, I don't have to deal with the Sunday scaries anymore. And this is not my first time getting fired. I've been fired once before, kind of a similar situation, but it really put me in a horrible mental state. I had no support. Like, I mean, I had my friends' support, but just like from the company, like it just was a horrible situation. I'll probably dive into that story at some point in life. But I really believe that a similar situation happened to help heal the past situation that I experienced with the job. And it really is so affirming and so wonderful to be able to just say, like, I can feel good about getting fired. And for someone who's kind of, I don't want to say type A, but I'm a Virgo rising, so I have a little bit of type A in there. Letting go of like perfectionism, letting go of being good at something when you're not supposed to be good at it, trying to align yourself with things that are not supposed to be aligned with you. Like, it was really hard for me to just swallow that pill and grow up. Essentially, swallow that pill and grow up about it. So, but like with grace, like growing up with grace. So anyway, all that to say, I'm really excited to move forward. I have a lot of great things to look forward to. If you guys want to follow me,
That's a video basis. I'm just here just to add on like what I think about today's video. So in today's video, we're talking about layoffs are getting worse and no one is safe. So basically in today's economy, layoffs are becoming the new normal, and the truth is no one is safe anymore. It doesn't matter how talented, hardworking or loyal you are to your company. The wave of jobs cut is hitting people across every industry. What used to be shocking headlines about one or two companies downsizing has now turned into a weekly routine of mass layoffs. Tech workers, healthcare professionals, media employees, and even government contractors are all facing the same uncertainty reality. The world of work is changing fast and it's leaving millions of people questioning their stability, their future, and even their identity. Part of what's making this layoff season to frighten is how unpredictable it has become. Companies that were once becoming a year ago now are cutting thousands of jobs. One day you're being congratulated for meeting your performance goals, and then next day you're called in a quick meeting with HR and you're told your position no longer exists. It's not personal, they say, it's just business. But what you live would is taken away without warning. It feels deeply personal. It's a silent crisis that's affecting families, mental health, and the sense of security that people worked so hard to build. What's even more concerning is that these layoffs are just hitting struggling businesses. Even profitable companies are cutting costs aggressively, often to impress shareholders or prepare for uncertain future. Artificial intelligence and automation are replacing jobs faster than ever before. And many organizations are restructuring to rely on fewer people. The traditional idea of job security is fading, and the workforce is being reshaped in ways that many employees are unprepared for. For the people affected, it's more than losing a paycheck. It's losing a routine, purpose, a sense of belonging. You spend years building a career, and in few minutes, everything you worked for can vanish. And yet, life goes on. Bills still come, families still need care, and the world doesn't stop to give you time to recover. That's the emotional side of layoffs that rarely gets talked about. Behind every statistic is a real person facing sleepless nights, anxiety, and fear about what comes next. In 2025, layoffs are not just a company problem, they become a social issue. The economy is shifting, remote work is being reconsidered, and companies are using this moment to reset their operations. But what happens to the people left behind? Employees who survive layoff often face heavy overload, low morale, and constant fear of being next. The mental toll is bad, creating a workforce full of anxiety and burnout. It's becoming clear that ever the job security can no longer be trusted as a foundation for stability. The scary truth is that we're entering an era where everyone needs a backup plan, whether it's building multiple income streams, starting an online side hustle, or learning new digital skills. The future belongs to those who can adapt quickly. Waiting for a company to protect you is no longer an option. Okay, the smartest move anyone can make right now is to prepare for uncertainty and take control of their own financial destiny. But despite all the fear and frustration, there's also a message of hope. Many people have been laid off by using it as a wake-up call to rebuild their lives in more meaningful ways. Some are starting businesses, freelancing, or finding jobs that align better with their values. Being laid off can be devastating, but it can also be the beginning of something better. It's a chance to rediscover your purpose, prioritize your mental health, and choose a path that gives you more freedom and fulfillment. So as layoffs continue to rise and no one seem to be safe, remember this. Your worth is not tied to a job, title, a company name. You're not replaceable. You're not replaceable just because the corporation decided to cut costs. You have skills, resilience, and creativity that no longer company can take away. This is a season of change, and while it's tough, it's also an opportunity to take back your power and redefine what success means to you. So thank you so much for watching. Bye. See you in the next episode.